outside? Did you see what you wanted to see, or?
You know, as a coach, I always see things that are most fans don't see. Me and the coaching staff will see some things that don't look the way we want them to look. But I thought we competed tonight and it covered up a lot of mistakes on defense. Even when we gave up a shot, we contested the shot, and then somebody was there to pick up a rebound, especially after that first quarter where we gave up a bunch of offensive rebounds. Our defense is something that you want to click right away. Like the offense comes after that. Guys are so good in the league, they can score without you calling a lot of plays. But the defense, conversely, tends to be bad because the guys are so good. And so I saw improvement from the first night, but certainly not where we want to be as a team. We don't have the time, and we don't have the practice time for sure to go over those things.
Because you're limited on time, Coach, what will you emphasize? 1, 2, 3 specific points to improve on before travel to Phoenix?
Well, offensive rebounding. We're going to play Phoenix. They shoot a ton of threes, and so those rebounds end up in the middle of the paint a lot. Our post spacing, especially when they front Carl, is something we have to work on. And Chris, and execution as a whole, you know, there were a couple times tonight where Chris had a rebound at the end of the quarter, and 5 seconds on the clock, he threw it away. They get another shot. Squeaky tonight had a couple fast breaks to try to make passes that just weren't there. And we don't have the talent to overcome those things. We have to be as solid as we can for 48 minutes or whatever. And for us, we got to be disciplined. So I think, you know, we're going to be stressing discipline this week, taking care of the ball, making sure you know your sets, and for sure we're always going to stress defense.
Coach, everybody wants to see Eric and Chris, but talk about how important the guys that were here last year are going to be, especially initially in the season.
Yeah, you know, it was good to see Jason out there bouncing around tonight. I think he's come into camp with a bit of attitude. He feels like he's still proving himself in the NBA. And, you know, the way I look at guys like that is those are the guys I want around because they're always going to compete. And Carl is just going to get his legs more and more. You know, unfortunately, when everybody went to camp, he didn't have anybody to play with 5-on-5. And so he's just starting to play more 5-on-5, and he'll get his legs, and everything will slow down for him. Obviously, Quincy was good tonight. Jared does a great job of running our team. He's the vocal leader. He knows what we want on the floor. And the only downside was not having Rebecca and Trevor out there tonight, but I thought they got some rest that they needed.
Monty, I'm sorry if you already answered this, but I got in late. Eric, just talk about the way he acclimated himself tonight. Looked pretty comfortable with what he was doing.
Yeah, I just, you know, I don't want him looking at me on the sidelines. You know, a couple times tonight he's looking over at me. Like I'm just looking at him like, what? Play, you know? He's got the freedom because he has the talent and the giftings to do some things that most people can't do. And I think he's trying to fit in, but when you have that kind of talent, it's not your job to fit in. You know, I want you to fit in on defense. Offensively, I think he's got the ability to be an explosive scorer night in and night out. And so, you know, it's good to have somebody like that who can attack the basket, shoot threes, mid-range game, make passes off the dribble. So I think once he gets more and more comfortable with what we do, and he and Jack realize that this is their team, we'll see him play better. But I was more impressed with his defense tonight than anything. I mean, he's a physical defender, and he's going to get better at that, and I think that'll make us better.
Thanks, Mike.